Hello everybody, my name is Tony Smith. Welcome to my allotment. Today I want to do something just a little bit different and show you a video that I did for the BBC and that failed its audition for the BBC Gardener's World. I did this video about, well, it was actually the start of the pandemic, you know, the coronavirus was kicking off. We couldn't get out and we couldn't travel around, and the BBC Gardener's World couldn't get their crew to certain presenters. And they just wanted some, I guess, some little filler sections to put on the show because, you know, Gardener's World is a long-running show and lots of episodes. So they got in touch with me and asked us to do a little bit video. So I'm going to play the video, and then at the end of this little section, you can come back and I'll give you the story of how I failed. Hello and welcome to my allotment. My name is Tony Smith and this allotment is situated on the coast of northeast England. So about a quarter of a mile away over there is the sea. And that makes a great environment. Just to give a little heads up, so you never get a real severe frost. So we're going to always have like a little jump start on the season. So this allotment is almost all of it is a raised bed allotment. So I've built over the years, I've built these raised beds for a number of reasons. It's great for your back. You're not hurting your back, bending down constantly, you know, stretching and reaching over. It's a great little, you know, once we're getting on, you know, in the senior years, it's a lot easier to manage, and it's a lot easier to micromanage as well. You know, if you turned into allotment and you just took it over and it's just covered in weeds, that's so, like, you know, disheartening, and, you know, it's a challenge just to get motivated to dig all those weeds out. Where with a raised bed, you can tackle one bed at a time, and it just makes it a lot more easier. You know, you can go away and know I've just got a couple more beds to do. Another factor about this allotment is it's a no-dig allotment, meaning I don't dig anything at all. Each year I put on a layer of compost on these beds about 2 inches thick, and it just suppresses the weeds and it just keeps everything dampened down. So you're not turning up in spring and you've got a full allotment of weeds to tackle, and then you'll clear them all out, and then a couple of weeks later they're there again. With the no dig, you're just keeping that lid on the weeds and just suppressing the weeds all the time. And because you're not destroying the soil substructure, you're getting a lot healthier plants. They're lasting longer and you're getting more produce off them as well. We're just coming to this time of year now as well, this spring, where everything's just waiting to take off. My polytunnel now is starting to just get a bit too much. Like, all my seeds are all ready to go to get planted out. And it is like a waiting game, you know, you don't want to go too early just in case the last frosts nip your plants. And like I say, I've got the whole bench is just full of plants now, just waiting, you know, just waiting it's the time so we can get them planted out there now. And then once these are all out, then I can bring the tomatoes in. And at home, in my little hut at home, I've got the propagators going, and that's where the tomatoes, the chilies, the aubergines are in their little propagators coming along, and they're starting now to get really big. You know, it's just that you don't want to go too early, but it's coming up close now where I'll have to bring all them up to the allotment, you know, and into this kind of polytunnel. So this year I'm going to try something different with the tomatoes. I've got these tomato hooks, and these are what all the professional growers are using, just tomato hooks. So you just hang them down on a wire and hang the string down, and you just wind, as it grows, the tomato plant up the string, and hopefully I'll get a great crop. So last year I had an abundance of tomatoes, and we've still got some frozen from last year, and we still use them in kind of the red sauces. And tomatoes made like a bolognese sauce, it's just one of the nicest things of allotment growing. But this method, what I'm hoping for is it'll just be, I can get more produce from them, because when the tomato plant grows too high, you just take it off and you curl the tomato plant, the base of it, on the floor, then you hang it back up. So it's just like almost like a snake in a snake basket. It just curls round and then starts to grow up. And hopefully you know, our season is a little bit short. You know, you kind of, they stop ripening round about October. But hopefully I can improve on that and get a few more tomatoes. So I'm also growing down in the propagators down at home some chilies, and I love the Hungarian hot wax. That's probably my favourite chili of all time. But we've also got the Carolina Reaper ones, which I'll probably never eat, but it's lovely to grow. This is like the hottest chili plant in the world, and if I can get it, you know, and get a good crop from that, that'll be an amazing thing, just to grow it in the northeast of England. So I'm trying another new method as well, and I did it last year and I had partially success, but this year I'm trying it now where I've got these pots. Now these pots are my potato pots, so I'm not growing the potatoes in the ground, I'm growing them in the pots. So I've got compost in there, I've got 2 potatoes in there, a lot of fertiliser, bloodfish and bone and some chicken pellets, and I'm hoping I get a fantastic crop. What I've got in here at the moment is pink fir apples. They are probably my favourite potato of all time. So I'm hoping to get a good batch of pink fir apple potatoes. I've also, for the first time, bringing in some honeybees to the site as well. This is the first batch. I'm going to get another hive as well, and they're going to get transferred into proper hives. This is just like a carrying case, just to get them acclimatised to this area from where they've come. So I'm looking forward. I'm not going to probably get honey this year, but hopefully next year we'll get a load of honey. One thing I'm really proud of is this raised bed, because this raised bed was built on an old wall that was kind of disused, that weeds used to come through. So I built it and I just actually sat it on the wall itself, and it's like getting a garden from nowhere. So all of a sudden I've got nearly 5 meters of growing space, and in here is an abundance of strawberries. So I'm hoping this year as well we will have strawberries upon strawberries coming out of this allotment. One thing I am trying this year with the strawberries is I'm using a weed membrane. You can see I get a little bit obsessed with keeping the weeds down, but that's one of the reasons. Keep those weeds down. But it's also, once the fruit starts, you know, ripening and starts, it's somewhere nice and clean for them to lie, so I can come and, you know, beat the birds, get there before the birds and get the fruit, so it's not covered in soil and bits and pieces. It's nice and clean. I do have to water more with this membrane on, but that's not a big problem. You know what I mean? The end goal is to just get an abundance of strawberries. So I hope you've enjoyed having a little look around my allotment. It is, you know, it's just great to come out to the allotment every day. And at the moment, we are living in such strange times. You know, it was only a couple of months ago, the whole topic of the nation was Brexit. And now we're in the midst of a pandemic. And at least at the moment, we can come to the allotment. That's one good thing, you know, you can come and get your exercise. If restrictions get a little bit tighter, then my intention is to kind of start growing vegetables in the home garden. Now my home garden is a little bit neglected. The kids have grown up. It's been one of those gardens that had the trampoline, that had the little paddling pools, that had the dogs running around. But now, like I say, the kids have grown up. The garden's a little bit neglected and a little bit sorry for itself, if I must admit. But the intention is to kind of put some raised beds in there and at least get some vegetables grown this season. So that's what I'm going to do. But I hope, like I say, I hope you've enjoyed having a look around my allotment. If you've getting any ideas and some tips, that would be fantastic. You know, do look after yourselves. Take good care. So that was my audition tape for the BBC Gardener's World, and like I say, it failed. And looking back for it, because I haven't actually watched it or edited it since I actually sent it off. You know what I mean? So I'm still quite proud of it. It's still all right. I used my good camera, my good lens. I did everything, and it was, to be honest, it was. You know, I thought I was going to be like the next Monty Don. You know, like the Gordon Ramsay of the gardening world. I was on high. Oh, I was all over the place. Then I got the email back saying, "No, Tony." Now, so this is the story that happened to get that video. I don't use Facebook, but for whatever reason, I got the Facebook Messenger app on my phone, and I noticed there's been about 2 weeks before, there was a little message saying, you know, from this gentleman saying, "I work for the BBC, I'm one of the directors of the BBC Gardener's World. Can you give a, you know, would you be interested in doing a little video clip for the show?" Now at first, I honestly thought this was a bit of a scam, bit of a, you know, click on this link and I'm away. But I looked into it and sure enough, it seemed okay. So checked back, I wrote back and yes, got the, you know, the brief that what this is the case. We're a little bit short of material because, you know, Gardener's World is weekly and then it's going to go into an hour show and, you know, we just need more material. Can I get the crews out? Would you be kind enough to do it? They sent along a PDF of what they wanted. And they wanted, you know, this style with a lot of kind of like nice B-roll and just make it look, you know, as best you can. Have it, you know, like as almost like a presenter type, a little, you know, clip. So that was what you've just seen there. Then I didn't hear anything for a week and I emailed them back and it's up with the executives now, Tony. You know, getting close to me, you know, the new getting there. Get the email back. Sorry, Tony. No, the one it's too professional, and it was like too professional. And as it happens, I know there was a few others. I think I'm not sure how many. Maybe about 3 or 4 YouTube gardeners had been asked to do this, and young Sean James Cameron was, you know, one of them who was asked by the BBC and who was, you know, gently let down as well for the same reason, too professional. Now I know Sean has I'll put a link onto that video if I can find it, or Sean's site anyways, where he did his little thing, and you know what came from the PDF description and then what the execs ones was just totally different. The PDF description of what we had to do was, you know, what we did, and then they wanted something almost camera shaky on your phone. So we failed miserably for the BBC, like I say, and I haven't, like I say, looked at that for a while, so I was still quite proud of it, you know what I mean? Still good, you know what I mean? My mum will like it anyways. So that is the failed audition tapes for the BBC. Look after yourselves, take good care.